2020 has not been the best year so far for, well, everybody, but also for anime. The number of shows pushed back or delayed continues to pile up, and who knows when we'll get a full seasonal slate again. Hopefully this fall, but you never know. So let's take some time to rewind back to the start of the year when we had a full winter plate in front of us. And no, I'm not just using this reasoning because this video is over 3 months late. Why would you even suggest that? As a whole, winter was a bit of a double-edged sword. This is probably the most clear top 10, well 11, I've ever had for a season, but that also means there wasn't an overwhelming amount of incredible openings. There's some really great stuff and some things that I think can go toe-to-toe with 2019's best, but overall, winter had a lot of openings that I want to mention quickly, but not talk about at length, giving us a whopping 17 honorable mentions. I'll try to burn through them as fast as I can so we can get to the good stuff, so hold on. I'm mad I like this song. These openings always slap and the CG isn't terrible, it's just CG. This isn't even a full opening, but the anime is in honor of the Tokyo Paralympics and the song goes extremely hard. Clean, wholesome content with just really good eyes. This actually has some of the best individual shots of the season and sent me down an unnecessary rabbit hole of virtual idol groups. It also has this. It just made me smile the entire time, and at this point that's worth a lot. A good all-around opening that gets a bonus point solely because I like Madoka. There's promise here, and it's mostly from the song, but there isn't a ton that blows me away visually. I love this song. It's actually one of my favorites from the season. The random visual scenes are not. A surprisingly solid opening visually that makes good use of the always welcome kaleidoscope effect. Probably the show with the weirdest premise this season, the opening shines through mostly thanks to its background art. Just an all-around solid shonen OP. Sid come off a lot harder here than in their beloved Full Metal effort. I would prefer if we stopped putting Asuka songs with forgettable visuals, please. The chorus looks decent, but it's just cookie cutter overall. It's Ace of the Diamond, so of course it's Clay. I like this song better than the last one, and the visuals are the same as usual. I think I might like this version better than the first visually, but now the song kinda doesn't fit as well. I don't know, this technically isn't even an entirely new opening for winter anyway, but it looks cool enough that I wanted to include it. I don't even care about the visuals here, they're fine. The song is so clean. It's the closest we came to a real groovy opening this season. Yo, you hear that guitar? That's what we've been missing this season so far. The visuals are extremely sports, but man, Flumpool crushed the song. So admittedly, this might be the weakest season depth-wise since I started doing this in fall 2018. Looking at it, there's some honorable mentions that I don't think would have even gotten a second look in a better season, but what can you do? Every season is unique. And that's what keeps me coming back. I'm here to talk about how much I love anime openings, and we were still treated to some dishes in winter. So we're gonna stop with the solemn seasonal summary and get moving. And this is the moment where I remind everyone that opening quality is not indicative of show quality. Anyway, this was sort of my baseline this season for how good I thought other openings were. Essentially, if it wasn't as good as Phoenix, it was an honorable mention. The song is the star here, as the Burnout Syndromes provide us with yet another Haikyuu opening, and while I like it, it isn't quite as good as Fly High or Hikare Are, but we've reached the point where when I hear Kazumi Kumagai's voice, I immediately think Haikyuu. The visuals are clean and very well animated, but are also the reason this is at 11. They just don't really do too much outside of the box, and at no point did it really make me say, wow. The closest it gets is that zooming shot of all the teams towards the end. I like that a lot. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and assume there's a lot more emotion packed into it when you're actually watching the show, but overall it's very shonen template-y. Doesn't make it even remotely bad, it just holds it back a bit for me. Color usage is the name of the game here for a show that I was not aware existed until right now. It's the first opening here that really caught my eye visually, and it does that with its bright, flashy colors, a theme as we move through the rest of the season. The overwhelming highlight here is that color-coded weapon animation right after the title card that really leans into the video game aesthetic. The title card itself actually looks pretty good, using extremely vibrant colors as it slides in. And while the second half of the opening isn't quite as strong as this high point, I'm glad to see they fully commit to the color coding. Also, there's a bear with a chain gun, so that's cool. The song is a solid driving effort from Yuuki, which didn't blow me away, but also if you didn't recognize that name, she's an incredibly accomplished voice actor and does a supporting role in the show. So if you're just gonna get Suyu, Madoka, Meli, Yuzuru to sing your opening, I'm going to unnecessarily give you extra points for it. It's possible. So we've reached the point where an 8-episode Black Clover spin-off series has a better opening than most other seasonal shows. We already knew that the staff working on Black Clover really care about their anime openings, but this is another level of impressive. The song is an original by Clover X Clover, which is just a band name given to Asta and Yuno's VAs. So get you a man who can do both. It's possible. It's a nice driving rock song, and while not as slappy as the mainline songs, I still like it. Where the opening stands out is visually, just throwing an incredibly bright and graffiti-esque coat of paint all over these characters. I love the cyberspace-looking background, and I really hope they try this style for a main show opening sometime soon. Now, as much as I want to, I can't put this any higher because a lot of the animation is reused from the other openings. But it still looks great in this color scheme nonetheless. This completely blindsided me to the point where this had to be a late addition to the list, and I'm proud of Winter 2020 for giving us not one, but 2 great Black Clover openings. It's been quite a while since we had a TK opening, and it is a welcome surprise this season. Is this Unravel 2.0? No, but it's still a very good song, and per usual, Kitajima's voice and emotion immediately grabs and carries you all the way to the ending title card. What holds this back from being higher is the admittedly pretty goofy looking character reactions. I think the shots themselves are good, especially with the reflections you can see in their faces, but I can't get through without laughing at a face at least once. Outside of that though, once again the color palette steals the show, with incredibly vibrant colors that at times almost appear as if you're looking through a thermal visor. It's littered with other great shots, and really a solid effort all around. My hero benefiting greatly from the Kanaboon boost here. Get the opening done by one of my all-time favorite bands? I'm gonna like it. Favoritism aside, I think Star Maker really fits this opening and this arc of my hero very well. Its cheerful demeanor, those little chimes, a killer guitar riff that doesn't overpower the rest of the mix, it's quite good. Visually, this is probably the best My Hero opening, if not that, then the most creative. Backgrounds are bright and monochromatic, as well as featuring fun designs. Credits roll in on silhouetted pieces of clothing, or scraps of paper, or trees, or really anything from the previous shot. It really manages to stand out in its design choices, culminating in the spectacular candy apple shot. Overall, it's not as aggressive as the first core's opening in its "look at our characters," and really does provide something unique, especially for the shonen genre. Let's just hope for more stuff like this when Season 5 rolls around. Hey, I heard you guys like vibrant, splashy colors. The color palette train continues on with Toilet Boy, which just takes what Pet was kinda doing and blasts it all over everything. All the backgrounds and silhouettes are covered in the show's unique colors, and even the still shots look super nice. Which is good, because there's a decent amount of still shots. The song is an anime original and a collaborative effort of Yuji Ikuta from Penguin Research, Masayoshi Oishi, and Zing. So you know, a pretty solid group to just fling together for one song. It goes noticeably harder than anything else we've looked at so far and complements the visuals quite nicely. My highlight is the area leading into the title card where there's roughly 20 different shots in about a 15-second span, all covered by that colorized film grainy filter. That same effect comes back towards the end right before we hit the final splash screen as well. All in all, there isn't too much that's super flashy here, but everything is at least a moderate level of flash thanks to the color scheme. This is just an absolute jam. Aside from the song in the #1 spot, I think I've listened to Mononoke in the Fiction more than any other song this season. It's a track off of Lion of Chameleon's new album Jugem, which you should definitely check out if this type of rock music is your thing. Just 12 straight jams in a row. Anyway, this song in particular shines by having like 8 different musical sections. The distorted guitars at the beginning, the riff during the title card, the twangs during the verse followed up by a more fleshed out guitar line, the double vocal lead into the chorus, and then finally just letting the guitars loose in the chorus. Hi, yes, I love this song. It impresses visually as well, particularly during the first half, stringing together a series of shots that immediately caught my eye, from that whirlpool to the beams of light and everything in between. I also do enjoy openings that play around with their title card a bit, and they hit a couple other solid tactics with the color coding and the quick cuts. It doesn't dwell on anything for too long and really lets a great song shine. Okay. What? Let's play a fun game here where we try and guess which of these openings is by the same band as Doro Hey Doro's. So, somehow, the answer here is all 3. No Name have a unique discography, to say the least, as they've done music for Grimgar, Fantasy and Ash, Sakura Quest, and Fairy Gone. And not just the openings, but the EDs and the entire soundtracks for all 3 shows. They did that for Doro Hey Doro as well, and this fact is kind of melting my brain. Admittedly, I like the EDs better here, but just the variety of music that they've been able to create to fit each anime is astonishing. Back to Welcome to Chaos, it's exceptionally weird, and that's exactly what an opening like this needs to stand out. Musically, I'm not in love with it, but the echo effect used throughout the song is pretty cool, and most importantly, it fits the visuals. I think we're all getting a little tired of me talking about color palettes at this point, but here we are yet again, another vibrant visual opening. I love the kaleidoscope at the beginning, and then the paint splatters running down at that very colorful title card. I'm a little colder on the main meat of the opening, pun intended. Mostly because, it scares me, but it's animated well and capped off by just more insane stuff. I don't know, it's really hard to categorize this opening, and I suppose its uniqueness is what sets it apart here. How good do we think those dumplings are? We've finally reached the big boys of the season. ID Invaded just does so much work visually from start to finish. I will always appreciate creative ways to integrate credits into an opening, and these pop-up browser windows are just so clean, particularly because they're used throughout the opening as an aesthetic choice and not just for the credits. Throw in all the background work, the geometric shapes, and just this entire shot in the chorus, and there isn't a dull moment here. I also absolutely love these short loading shots in between transitions. They're not there to really stand out, but they really drive home the overall artistic theme. The song, Mr. Fixer, fits the visuals like a glove, and I love the piano-heavy arrangement. Of course, ID does have the bizarre situation where the opening is outshone by the ED, and even some of the insert songs, but we don't detract from openings just because the ED slaps. The style is more than enough to get this in the top 3, and honestly, this is one of the better openings of the past few seasons. Now for what everyone's surely been waiting for, the opening that took the anime community by storm during the winter, Easy Breezy. There really isn't too much incredibly complicated with this opening. It just exudes fun. It's an unbelievably catchy song combined with crazy yet simplistic visuals in one perfect minute-and-a-half chunk. Honestly, it's so good. From the now iconic poses to the dance sequences that make this an incredible opening on their own, to the underrated characterization panels, to the little clap towards the end. Every part of it is good. There is no weak point in this opening. Head in winter 2020's buzzwords, vibrant colors, and this is something that people will remember for a while. Musically, the song doesn't sound like your traditional anime opening, and that's what draws people to it. More than anything, Kamiko have a pretty unique style of music, so it's been really cool to see the overwhelming love for this song. It's the perfect song for this show and the perfect song for the visuals. It's wacky yet earnest, and there's no way you're getting that guitar riff followed up by Easy Breezy out of your head anytime soon. You fools! You absolute rubes! You thought this was all a bit. You thought I was joking. But Black Clover does not publish insufficient Japanese animation preambles and now has the best opening of winter 2020. Okay, so realistically, I think you could put Isaac or ID Invaded in the top spot here and have a decent argument for it. But come on, I was not gonna put Black Clover at number 1 given the chance. Also, I swear this isn't me leaning into the Black Clover thing. This opening is just very good. I honestly feel like this is one of those openings that just speaks for itself when you watch it, but I'm going to speak for it anyway. The first time I remember Black Clover getting some run in the community for its openings was opening 3, which is Black Rover by Vicky Blanca. And since then, the openings have only grown in notoriety. Well, him and his wonderful falsetto are back with a vengeance with Black Catcher, which is just an incredible song. That slow piano intro into that driving piano line is enough to just make me start hollering. Seriously, the piano here is unbelievable. Okay, just pause this and go and listen to the song and just focus on how the piano and the bass play off of each other, and it's just The tempo shifts are also impressive because they don't really bog down the song at all and actually provide nice short reprieves to get revved up for the chorus. Okay, I'll admit it, I'm in love with this song. Beyond the music, I think there's some deep comedy in the fact that after I talked about bright colors about 35 times, that number 1 would be mostly in black and white. But that's what makes this opening really stand out. The black bars are unlike really any other opening I've ever seen, and they certainly are when combined with the full black and white visuals. Throw in the red that just pops off the screen, you've got yourself a very memorable aesthetic. But they didn't stop there, throwing in hot shots left and right. The opening side of Sekrai into using part of the episode intro that we've been watching for every single episode for nearly 120 episodes in the backdrop of the title just blows my mind. That seamless transition of the grimoire into that long shot of Asta in the rain and the slow walk during the breakdown. Then there's the 3D movement shot during the chorus. I swear they put more budget in the openings than they do the show sometimes. And then to top it all off, it goes into full color right at the end with the door opening and the tears, and I just have a lot of emotions. I think the best thing I can say about this as an opening is that there are no wasted shots. Everything has a point, beyond just look at our cast, and it all fits a shared aesthetic and looks gorgeous. Finally, this arc actually ends in the middle of this opening's run, and they made an entirely different visual version for like 4 episodes because that's how much Black Clover cares about their anime openings. I think that version has some good points, but overall the first one is far better. And in winter 2020, as in my heart, Black Clover reigns supreme.